to manifest a vest, protecting you from the influence. So test your best, push from your chest, let life rush. Hush, be at ease, and please, your greatest desires appease your needs. And just realize you hold power, bearing no limits. Remind the ones around you if it has been a minute. A snippet of organized, plus greater minds grow a spine. The signs as their consciousness realize I dine in on the meat of the combo. Apollo lights the way, it's off to soul. If you follow truth, will eliminate your being. A beacon of hope, elope with what you breathe in. Yeah, it's dope. Wake up to the jolts of the passion. Ration, eliminate distractions. Actions create consequence. Intense, aware of eternal existence. Just hanging on by a thread. Travel upward past the head. Creation, expressing communication. Elation felt after respiration.
Salam.
Capital breeds consumers. The intention of capital is to breed consumers. So how much do you consume? To who are you loyal? And by what? Capital breeds consumers. The intention of capital is to breed consumers. So how much do you consume? To who are you loyal? And by what do you stand for? And you answer these questions in the mirror. Capital breeds consumers. The intention of capital is to breed consumers. So how much do you consume? To who are you loyal? And by what do you stand for? And you answer these questions in the mirror.
iTrack fam, only positive vibes here, man. If you're even a little bit salty, hey, this ain't the channel for you. But if this is your first time here, what we like to do is take a look at the most interesting and creepy TikToks and kind of evaluate for ourselves whether these are fact or fake.
What's up,
If you
y'all?
haven't already, go ahead and smash that like button for me, smash that subscribe button, and join the iTrack fam. Keep up to date with the latest, greatest, interesting, and creepy videos. Now let's just jump straight into it.
If everything goes smoothly,
Hey, I'm gonna be reacting to just some crazy videos, news, and just give you my feedback, my own opinion on all of this bourgeois. Hey, this is iTrack, really cool reaction videos, chill and real down to earth. It's not one of those, oh golly, he's a good thinker. So check out his page and enjoy. I'm gonna just stop it. I'm not gonna do the whole thing. I'll just react to a couple of the things that I see and then kind of move on.
I'm going to watch a car fly over another car.
You can actually use it today. And you can cut your commute at least in half, if not more.
Jim Duchovny says his company Aleph Aeronautics was able to create something we've been dreaming about since the Jetsons. And while not quite ready for the road, Duchovny says the flying car is about to take off. NBC News was given exclusive access to see their concept model with our own eyes. Sure enough, we watched it soar through the air over another car and land. But for all the magic of this moment, we were heavily restricted, forced to shoot at least half a football field away, and we never actually saw the driver entering or exiting the vehicle.
We still have some IP, intellectual property, which we're trying to protect.
But practicality might be where the rubber meets the sky.
It's going to be slow, incremental.
And once that system's out, there's no more freedom.
Broad daylight UFO sightings here over Los Angeles, which started investigating. If we were to overlap their reality with ours, his planet would be about 500 light years in the direction of the Orion constellation. He's brought through a lot of information to us over the last 40 years, and we're going to explore and share some of that information today in this series. My experience with him began in 1973 when I had two broad daylight UFO sightings here over Los Angeles, which started investigating the idea of what that was all about and led me to the
break into an iPhone. Remember the
Abraham Hicks. Seems like they're channeling the same type of being.
whole iPhone thing's a fucking lie. Like they can't break into an iPhone. Remember the whole suicide bomber thing out in California where they couldn't get in an iPhone, people wouldn't give them. The FBI was mad because they couldn't get a back door. It's all a fucking lie. They want you to believe that, so you'll continue to keep talking and doing it on your phone. They literally plugged my iPhone 6 right into this cord, and they were going through my fucking phone, looking through it like this, and they seen my attorney talking about, you fat fuckers eat donuts, and they're all like, come here, look what his attorney's saying. I'm listening through the door. So this whole lie about they can't get in these phones is all bullshit.
Oh, 100%. They could absolutely get into any phone they...
Hey, just want to add right here. I've been fortunate enough to deal with technology for the past like 25 years or so, and there is nothing that is being transmitted that is secure. Just know that. Nothing. Everything in your phone is accessible from outside, not just in your phone. It's crazy. So anything that, oh, this is here, even the VPNs, honestly, a lot of these VPNs aren't even real. They might be just a server in some government basement, and now you're choosing free VPN and you're putting all your stuff through that. Just be careful out there, man. They want your info. Your info is you.
They want to.
So you know how I know all this shit is all this.
Yeah, and when I mean you, I'm talking about you. Not the you to the world, but you beyond that you to the world. And then you even beyond that you. There's 3 yous. And they want to know that you.
Social media shit is false. What happened to Telegram? The guy that got arrested over in France, the founder, why did they arrest him? They wouldn't give him a back door. Remember? It's in articles. They wouldn't give him a back. He wouldn't allow them in the back door because people are using it to do stuff. So they arrested him. They had the United States, had France arrest him, and now they're charging him on that shit. So why aren't they going after everybody else? So people are like, use Signal, use this. I'm like, you don't use none of that. You don't use any of it, because if they're not getting arrested like Telegram, they gave up their whole cover when they did that. Everybody has, the FBI has a backdoor to everybody. Every social media, every phone, everything they have a backdoor. They extort them, they threaten them. You got to realize you're going up against people that bully other countries. They write the laws, they print the money. How do you beat them?
Hey, it's, I honestly, if you look at the world today, right now, just take a snapshot of what's out there, you will see nothing but straight up gangsters running this. You better realize, imagine yourself walking in the worst hood or the worst place in your city. I don't want to call it a hood, but just the worst place in your city, and you're in there. That's the world today, because we are literally being run by people and organizations that are much, much darker than the hood and gangsters and all that crazy stuff.
And you know how I know that's real? I got tons of videos, and one in particular that talks about how the CIA works inside of Facebook. Like literally they have positions and jobs inside of Facebook. So that's a fact. They're in every single platform, some way, shape, or form. But hey, if you're not doing anything nefarious, you should be all right.
What's about
Hey, I want to tell you guys something. If you're not doing anything nefarious, you should be all right. Those are famous last words. All right. The thing is, what if they decide to do something nefarious? Because their plan entails something nefarious. I mean, you got to look at it that way. Why would you give anybody, no matter what you're doing, you know, why would you want somebody to have access to your inner workings? You know?
the devil and how he created miracles? The devil has no supernatural powers because the devil is a creature. He's a fallen angel.
All the devil does is whisper. That's it. He'll throw a thought in your mind. That's it. That's his only power is that. And then from there, it's on you.
Created by.
And you will always deal with the repercussions. Always. It says the devil just whispers, and as soon as you do, he's out. Gone, on to the next.
By God. Only God fully controls nature, and the devil is credited with having preternatural powers. What does that mean? It means that he is like a good scientist. He knows how to manipulate nature rather than transcend the laws of nature.
So it's technology rather than magic.
In his case, yes. Yeah, and there's a Spanish proverb that says the devil is so smart because he's so old. He's been around for so long that he knows how things work, and he can manipulate things, and actually he's very good at fooling people into thinking that what he's doing is divine.
You gotta be kidding me.
Just a thought, right? So what the devil does, right? What the devil does, doesn't that illuminate the good? Right? Because you got to understand the whole thing. God is in full control. It's not like the devil is out of God's control. God is God. That's what God is. Fully control at all times. Free of wants, free of needs, beyond anything we can measure, beyond anything we can even understand. We are getting small glimpses into what the ancients knew now, but God is in full control. So ultimately, no matter what the devil does, it's all within God's plan. You will learn more from your fucking mistakes, pardon my French, than you will from your victories, right? Victories come, you celebrate, and then they're gone. It's the next day. Defeats and losses and tests and real trials are where you grow. So, Matt, think about that.
These guys found the entrance to the ice wall right before I was about to go and discover it for myself in the Antarctic Ocean. I had just organized a group of 4 people out of the 5 that we need, but it looks like the race is on and these guys found it first. What is that over there? Did you see that? It looks like land past Antarctica. I've been saying this the entire time for over a year, especially after this photo got leaked, which is supposedly a drone shot of a city right next to the ice wall in Antarctica, and it is just described like what Admiral Byrd said when he flew over Antarctica 100 years ago, and he saw lush vegetation and new land nobody has ever seen before. But you know what? I can't be too mad at these guys because all they're doing is proving the rest of us right. We know that there's secret land out there that has been hidden from us. And I've been telling you, there's a new age that is about to occur, an age of exploration. And we're going to be expanding. There's going to be a huge boom in technology within the next few years. I'm calling it. Just wait and see.
There's something strange going on in the sky as airlines and pilots are on high alert due to GPS spoofing, a new form of electronic warfare messing with navigation systems. Over 1,100 flights a day are now facing fake GPS signals that can confuse cockpit systems and put pilots on edge. Pilots report everything from clocks resetting to false pull-up commands, all while flying through some of the world's busiest air corridors. Although there haven't been any major incidents so far, the risks are rising. Airlines and
Hey, imagine all of the spies that were instilled in the government during the whole DEI hire thing. Imagine all of, because it wasn't very many Americans, right, getting these DEI jobs and all that. It was people that they deemed. It's just crazy.
Regulators are scrambling to find fixes before something serious happens.
If there were a firmament that was getting lower to the ground as you went south beyond the Antarctic shoreline, planes would have to fly lower. That is something that would just make sense on the biblical Earth model. And when you look into what actually happens in Antarctica, you find out that, wait a minute, planes do actually fly lower. How much lower? Well, a lot lower. When you look...
Hey. Flat Earth, flat earthers. It's egg-shaped. Just imagine what an egg looks like. Imagine what the inside of an egg and the shell of an egg look like. That's why they can drill down thousands of feet, miles into the ground. It's egg-shaped. But just think, it being egg-shaped means when you hold the egg, you know, vertically, the yolk and the fluids go down to the bottom, but there's still the shell on top of it. It's egg-shaped.
Look at their elevation. It's around 11,000 feet in the Antarctic region. When you go to the Arctic, it should be exactly the same because they say we live on a globe and the south and the north are exactly the same. However, they're flying at 29,000 feet, far higher because they don't have to worry about a barrier. And it's not some barrier we're making up. There is footage of this barrier. We've shared it before. There are declassified documents that speak of it. The Encyclopedia Britannica talks about a dome-like structure being around 13,000 feet beyond the 80th south parallel. I used to think there could be another explanation for that. However, there might be some truth to those numbers given that they're flying that low in Antarctica. What do you guys think? let us know. I think this is fascinating.
There's a time traveler from the year 2671 who came to warn us about 2025. March 30th, a mile-wide asteroid is going to hit Central America.
Okay.
And millions will be killed, and it's going to be crazy. Then April 20th, many of the world's largest volcanoes will erupt. And for some reason, this is going to cause a lot of pressure in Yellowstone, Fuji, and Mauna Loa. And
I'm gonna share something with you guys. Whoever gets to hear this, you're gonna hear it. I was shown, and I don't want to say, oh, I was shown, but I've seen something is gonna come through our skies that's gonna rip the artificial sky, and we will be able to see the mechanisms, the actual wheel within wheel, the wheels within wheels. Something is gonna fly through our sky that's gonna rip the sky open, and we'll see what's on the other side of it. I was shown that a while ago. And it's almost like it's a huge mechanical, like you can't even, it's like it's like one of those motorcycle cages, you know, where dudes are driving the motorcycle inside the cage, but the bars are much bigger and they're farther apart. But here's the one thing I was definitely shown. It's all being controlled by like a 10-point star at the top of it. I don't know. God knows. But that's something I saw. So.
And we'll see some massive eruptions.
This is all this year?
Yeah, this is all this year. This is what this time traveler came to say.
I'm just keeping track here.
September 21st, the first ever Category 6 hurricane will hit the United States. It'll be heavily focused and wind speeds of 400 miles per hour.
Okay.
It's going to be a hurricane named Karen. I'm not even kidding. This is what the
I'm stop writing. I was literally writing these down like an idiot.
Anyway, it's all over TikTok. I just didn't know if you saw it or not.
Is the hurricane going to complain to management?
I'm sure it will.
This is a cool one. Looks like a mint container, right?
What is this, Ryan?
So that is an ESP32 that has the ability to replicate network names and shut down devices on Wi-Fi networks. So let's say I wanted to disable your Ring cameras and all of your iPhones in your house. I could plug that thing into this power brick over here and just start chopping people off the network. For example, I walk up to your house and I de-authenticate your Ring cameras. There is no evidence I ever was at your house, and there's no local storage on that device that will have a recording of me being at your house. So just that little thing alone right there would make me essentially a ghost when it came to your cameras.
Now he's letting you know in that clip right there how so many modern day mysteries go unsolved. People like him with that kind of technology is a dangerous thing.
There's an experiment that took place in the 60s. You get a stranger to murder somebody else. Familiar with it? No. Yale University is doing an experimentation on learning. You're both volunteers. There's a guy in a lab coat that's running this thing. And he says, we're going to draw straws. One of you will be the teacher and one will be the learner. So the other guy draws the learner straw. He goes to you. You become the teacher. Unbeknownst to you, this other guy's a volunteer. He's in on it. You're the only person participating in the experiment. So they sit you down at this machine. They say, this is an electric shock machine. And it goes from like 30 volts all the way to the right where it says XXX danger extreme shock. So you can hear him go, ah, you go, oh, for some of those intro shocks. But every time you get one wrong, you have to take that little slider and move that voltage up one notch. So the guy keeps getting it wrong, keeps getting it wrong.
225 volts.
Around 275, he's saying, I have a heart condition. I want to stop. I don't want to do this anymore. I want to stop. I'm done with this. Come get me out of here. Around 400 volts, there's no more reaction. It's total silence, and he's not even answering the questions anymore. So you turn back around to this guy in the lab coat, and you're like...
But he's not making any noise now.
And the guy in the lab coat says, It's important that you continue.
We must continue to the end of the experiment.
And shocking increase, shock, increase, all the way to this 450 extreme. So before this experiment took place, these psychiatrists got together and they said, how many people are going to go through with this? Who's going to go all the way and kill somebody? And they thought 0.8%. You have to be a psychopath. You have to want to hurt people. And in reality, 67% of people went all the way.
Bam. 67%. And the scientists initially thought 0.8% was going to go all the way. Think about the picture that gives us, right? Humans, we have this beautiful picture of the world, right? Oh, everybody's like us. Nobody would do such horrible shit. And then, just via being told, a person does the unthinkable. By being told, you got to keep going. Got to keep doing it. Look, religiously, spiritually, I don't even want to say religiously, spiritually, the guy pushing the button is just as guilty as the guy giving the orders. There's no difference. Because at that point, in that exchange, the guy clicking the button has become an extension of the guy giving the order. Right? Both of them would be judged in the universal laws as the same. As the absolute same. Why should there be a difference, right? That's like the president's giving orders, right? The CEO giving orders. That's just the way it is. So all these people, oh, I didn't know. You did. You put your own inner empathy, compassion, and humanity, that 0.8%, you put that aside for monetary, being told, all the goofiness. That's crazy.
So Stanley Milgram's trying to find out, do people just respond to orders? Like the Nuremberg trials were going on, and these Nazis were saying we were just following orders. 250 volts is enough to kill you. 100% of people went up to 250 volts. Dr. Milgram hypothesized that they undergo something called an agentic shift, where they become an agent on behalf of an authority figure. This is a big deal.
But see, that gives me NPC vibes, right? Just doing whatever's clever. It doesn't matter if it's right or wrong. I could never. That's just crazy to me.
Something scary is happening in China. A Chinese whistleblower going by the pseudonym Hu Lezi just burned over $1.3 million worth of Ethereum and donated $5 million to WikiLeaks to warn the world. Here's the story. 1 week ago, an address burned $80,000 worth of Ethereum with this message.
There is a new mode of crime in which the victim is gradually deprived of his desires until he becomes a complete slave to the digital machine.
Then 3 days ago, another $180,000 was burned with a message even more disturbing.
As brain-computer interface and mind-reading technology advances, a new crime is emerging, where even wild animals are turned into digital slaves.
The sender is claiming the military-grade brain computer chips are being deployed at scale to turn people and animals into digital puppets.
If you could train your brain to think ahead of your environment, to imagine a future that hasn't happened yet, and make it so real in your mind that your body begins to respond to it as if it's already real, how much power would you have to change your life? Let me tell you something. Your brain doesn't know the difference between a real-life event and what you're vividly imagining. And that one simple truth can transform your life. Today, I want to teach you how to trick your brain into creating a future of unlimited success. Let's start with something most people understand: repetition. Think about a musician learning a new piece of music, or an athlete practicing a skill. What do? They repeat it over and over. That repetition wires circuits in the brain. Over time, it becomes easier, more natural, more automatic. This is what we call physical rehearsal. The beauty of physical rehearsal is that it transforms the unfamiliar into the familiar. When you pick up a guitar for the first time, it feels awkward. Your fingers don't know where to go. But after weeks, months, or years of practice, you don't even have to think about it. Your hands instinctively know the notes. This is how the brain works. It thrives on repetition. But here's the thing. Physical practice alone isn't enough to reach extraordinary levels of success. It's the first step.
See, you dropping the same gems I dropped about repetition, but I'll drop another gem that most people just can't handle, and that's called discipline. It takes discipline to keep doing something over and over to be great at it. Yeah.
Absolutely. That's why I love this dude. A lot of people, you start doing the other stuff, forget the discipline, it ain't happen. None of it's going to happen.
Most people don't have that.
From the alien's perspective, what am I gaining going to this guy Zanfretta, who's a security guard in a small company in a very small town in Italy? What are they gaining by extracting blood from him, information from him, telling him things that we're going to come back? What is it that they're gaining? I don't see the purpose of it. Like I said, that this is if that's what the aliens are doing, they are the worst managed group of otherworldly beings I've ever met.
Golly. Think about the arrogance of this dude. What if the aliens are emitting or transmitting in a frequency that only a freaking farmer can feel because that farmer lives a certain way, deals with life in a certain manner? What if the transmission that's happening from that other realm into this realm is being blocked out by your headset, goofball? Golly.
We need to save ourselves.
Goof, man.
Oh my God! Damn! What are you doing? What are you doing?
That's a dwarfish.
I'm telling you.
Holy shit, that's they've almost never been seen live.
They live a mile deep.
It's come up here to die.
No. Back in the water.
Yeah.
Look, listen to what this guy said. They've almost never been seen live.
What are you doing?
That's a dwarfish. Holy shit, that's they've almost never been seen live.
They live a mile deep.
It's come up here to die.
No.
Back in the water. See if they'll go.
Wow.
You got photos?
Yeah,
Hold on, I'm putting on the Heather. This is
Thing
amazing.
is vibrating something.
amazing.
It's
Smallest one I've
saying
ever
something,
seen.
screaming something.
Got hurt or something.
You may not want to die. Give him a chance to see.
Maybe he smelled the fish blood.
Want to know a trick that makes almost anyone do what you say without them even realize?
You believe the Earth is whirling through.
So almost too good to be true, sir, if I've ever seen. This ain't no drone. That's a goddamn flying saucer, if I've ever seen one. Now, it's so almost too good to be true that immediately I think
Would be wild. Elon Musk is proposing a Doge dividend for all American taxpayers. According to the Forbes article, Elon is going to ask President Donald Trump about a proposal for a Doge dividend that would give taxpayers.
Ooh. Okay. Okay. Look at Elon over here. Hey, so I'm just trying to read this thing here. So 2 trillion, right, in savings to be returned to 79 million tax-paying households. So that's per household. Would result 5,000 per household. What? So that's 20% of the target at 2 trillion. Why only 20%? Where's the rest of the money going? That's all taxpayer money, right? That should be about $25,000 per tax-paying household. That should be $25,000 per tax-paying household if it's the $2 trillion. Where's the other 80% of this targeted money going, right? You'd have to ask, because that's taxpayer money. It sounds cool, hey, 5,000, but what if it's supposed to be 25,000? So 80%, where's the other 80% going? Y'all got to ask. We got to ask. That sounds good. Let's go, Elon. Getting that money. Getting our money, but make sure it's going to the right place.
A refund check of $5,000 funded by the savings from his Department of Government Efficiency. The proposal calls for 20% of Doge targeted $2 trillion savings to be returned to the 79 million tax-paying households, which Fishback said would result in about $5,000 per household. Doge is already doing an amazing job uncovering fraud and extra spending and cutting costs for American taxpayers. But can you actually imagine if you got a check in the mail from Doge for $5,000? And also, what would all the Doge haters say when they receive their checks? My question to you is, if this happens, what are you going to do with the money? As always, let me know down below.
Hey, 5K, I'll take it. And for that fact of the matter, I think Elon should keep looking, because maybe that 5 will turn into 10.
We have come
Man,
to
it should be. It should be 25.
As centers of very, very tender, sensitive, vulnerable consciousness, confronted with a world that doesn't give a damn about us. And that therefore, we have to pick a fight with this external world and beat it into submission to our wills. And so we talk about the conquest of nature. We talk about the conquest of mountains like Everest, the conquest of space, the conquest of cancer, etc., etc. We're at war because inside we feel ourselves to be these lonely ego principles, trapped in, somehow inextricably bound up with a world that doesn't go our way, unless somehow we can manage to force it to do so.
Recent news about plane crashes has you feeling.
Wouldn't that be, isn't what this guy described, isn't that the Satan mentality? Right?
Of space, the conquest of cancer, etc., etc. We're at war because inside we feel ourselves to be these lonely ego principles.
Trying to manipulate the energy, the universe, because of the ego.
Trapped in, somehow inextricably bound up with a world that doesn't go our way, unless somehow we can manage to force it to do so.
Recent news about plane crashes has you feeling kind of nervous about flying. You are not alone. Let's take a look at aviation safety in the U.S. by the numbers. Google Trends data shows that Americans are increasingly searching online about just how safe it is to fly. In fact, according to Google, Is It Safe to Fly reached a score of 100 today, the highest possible score in terms of interest. But for some perspective here, the plane and helicopter collision in Washington that killed 67 people was the deadliest aviation disaster since 2001. MIT professor of statistics Arnold Barnett told the New York Times that 12 million people board planes every day on average, making the chances of dying in a plane crash close to zero. So flying is still the safest and most efficient way to travel long distances in this country. But according to an Associated Press survey taken shortly after last month's American Airlines crash, adults in this country are now less confident in air travel. While 71% said that they thought plane travel was very or somewhat safe last year, now 64% of U.S. adults say that, according to the Associated Press. Faith in government agencies to ensure air safety has also dipped to Just about 50% of U.S. adults responded to the poll that they have a great deal or moderate amount of confidence in federal agencies, as compared to 60% in polling last year.
Did you guys hear that our poll shifted and that's why our planes can't fly?
The whole flying thing, like it's affecting Americans, especially Americans, some people around the world, but mostly Americans, right? It's affecting us. It kind of works out pretty good if you're looking for, smart cities and 15-minute cities and all this crazy stuff, right?
The poll shift did happen. That was confirmed by NASA a little less than a year ago. And it did make news, but it just got buried in the news and it wasn't talked about very much. Now, 6 months since NASA has announced that news, we have experienced seeing the northern lights visible in East Tennessee. It snowed in Florida. In Australia just today, 150 false killer whales beached themselves. This is the first time we've ever seen that species beach themselves in 50 years. In the pole shift, it affects a lot. It affects a lot, including Earth's magnetic field. Earth's magnetic field protects us from things like space radiation. When Earth's magnetic field gets disrupted, which occurs when the poles shift, it does cause a little bit of disruption within that magnetic field. When that happens, you will notice things like animals no longer having their internal compass. You will also notice random plane crashes or issues with planes. Earth's magnetic field being disrupted could also result in extreme weather. Also today, it was announced that NASA just confirmed some cities along the San Francisco Bay are sinking at an alarming rate. I would throw climate change in the...
You cannot take your bags with you. You can't take them. You have to leave it right here.
Oh, come on, I'll get along.
Please remain seated until further instructions by the captain.
Oh my God. Please get us out of here. Fire. This is jet.
Yeah, watching all these planes have issues can definitely give you some kind of anxiety about flying.
Justin Bieber attended his wife Hailey Bieber's road pop-up, and this video is going viral because people are concerned for him. It seems like he's a little bit unbalanced, he's rather thin, and there are reports that he is using drugs again, which is a red flag. He did just make...
Red flag? That dude is geeked out.
This long post on Instagram, which we will break down in a moment. I'm talking about headlines like this: Justin Bieber lurking behind his wife Hailey as they leave her road launch party amid concerns for his well-being. Now, with everything that is coming out about Diddy, even despite that Jay-Z and Diddy lawsuit being thrown out, there's still a lot of evidence against him, and there were rumors about Justin being involved, being implicated in videos, and I'm sure this could be putting a toll on him, especially with his newborn son, and imagining himself as a kid and remembering everything he had gone through. And that's just an assumption. I mean, maybe there isn't any trauma with Diddy, maybe there are problems at home. But this is helping out those rumors because it is a good look that he is showing up to her function. He writes, "Changing is about letting go, not trying harder. Are you tired of trying to
blah, blah, blah.
Only help me with simply
previous resets and catastrophes and whatever other what they showed
me with simply the next step today."
Look, man. Asking Jesus to genuinely help me was simply the next step today. Wasn't he like... Anyways, man.
That's a really powerful message. You don't just wake up on a Thursday.
Skeleton you see in a museum is fake. What they show you are casts and models, not real bones. The original bones, the remains of a certain flying beast that's been documented all throughout history, mentioned by every single ancient catastrophes, and whatever other fucking genetic monstrosities the civilization before us created in their eugenics labs are locked away.
Hey, quick thought, right? Since this is just what's on here. Think about all of the ancient technology, right? that like we're finding. We know it's there. It's real. Whether you like it or not, whether you want to accept it or not, it's there. There are buildings, there are structures, there are stones that our minds can't even, fathom being cut, being moved, whatever. We know it's there. To know that we are just finding this stuff, and this stuff surpasses our minds and our capabilities, right? That tells us something. There were more advanced people. There were more advanced beings on this plane because we're finding their stuff. We're still trying to figure out. I can almost guarantee you all of these UFOs and stuff, it's ancient technology or ancient or future technology. There's no, like in a timeline, there's no forward or backward with time. Time is mostly on your left and your right, right? Think about it. In your right hand is your future. You can think about the future. You can actually see the future. If you shut all the lights off and go lock yourself in a dark room, you will be able to see tomorrow. And then tomorrow will be the same as yesterday. You don't even have to do too much about yesterday because it's so recent. It's still right there, fresh. You can see it. That is time travel, in a sense. It's in your hands. It's not somebody else controlling it. So, back to what I was trying to talk about here. So this technology, right, that we're finding, that undoubtedly declares that there was ancient technology that was far more advanced than ours. Higher understanding of nature. And I'm sure in those times, societies looked at each other in a positive light. There was no dominance. The dominance was gaining information and moving forward, right? It wasn't so much greed and control and supremacy and all this other goofy shit that we're dealing with, that we've had to deal with, which has stopped so much of the informational progress, the technological progress, the spiritual, which is technological, just on a different means, on a different level, on a higher level than the physical level. Anything you can do with the cell phone, you can do with the human mind. So, have it your way, right? Nature itself is far more advanced than a cell phone. We think fucking a screen is, a phone screen is advanced, when in reality, the advancement of nature and what it does and what it allows, right, is far more advanced. We're still trying to figure that out. But there were societies that did figure that out, that knew those things. We are trying to hide it from one another, use it as, supremacy, domination, just some goofy ass shit. And that's why advancement had been stopped for so long. All right? That is the reason why advancement had been stopped for so long on this plane. And I'm talking about advancement as in ilm, understanding, knowledge, all of that. It was just stopped because there's so much turmoil, so much drama and warring and all that. There was no progress. Anytime there was progress on the planet, it was instantly destroyed by another civilization because they didn't want to be inferior. When in reality, in the ancient times, you know, the Greeks and the Persians and I'm sure the Olmec cultures, what they would do is they would take in information, you know, different information that they didn't have, whether it be religious, scientific, agricultural, whatever that was, they would take it in and incorporate it in their societies. And that would create a flourishing society. What's happening with man is we're going the other way. My way is better. You got to get out. This has got to be this way. It has to be this way, or you're not saved, on some goofy, dumb shit. You know what I mean? So to know that technology was there, man was so far advanced that they knew the one God is what they left us with. Literally. All of even Greek, I know a lot of people say, oh, the Greeks were polytheists and stuff. There were Greek philosophers that were before Socrates and things, and Plato, that had acknowledged the oneness of God, the one being that everything else radiates from, you know, that everything else comes from. And when that is the unifier for all of it, for all of us, once we understand its nature is designed by the Creator. Everything else is created. The Creator is unseen. We cannot see. You feel the Creator. You see the works of the Creator all around you. The birds, the bees, and everything that these birds and the bees encompass. Everything that's in them, their methods, their communication, their being, their eyesight. One day I was at a job site, and we were on break. My guys were all out getting lunch, and I was sitting at the job site in my truck, and I saw a bee. All right, and this bee was trying to get into my truck. I'm sitting there watching this bee, and I kid you not, I watched this bee for probably about 10, 15 minutes. This bee was like a 3D printer. I am not kidding. It was trying to come in or trying to do something on my window, and what I was doing is it would come to the window, sit on the window, do something, and then leave. And when it left, I would move the window up or down a little bit. And then it would come back and sit at the spot and then realize that it was moved. Then it would go back like a 3D printer, move up and down till it found that spot that it was on initially, that it was working on. And then it would come in. That small observation honestly opened my mind to a whole different reality, that these creatures and things that we see are designed by a masterful designer. Think about a fly, right? All the eyes, the way its eye, just from the gnat, from the atom, right? It's that design is so beautiful, and the beauty of it is now we know there's different dimensions, and this is a reality. This different dimensions are a reality. Knowing that, and knowing that there are different rules and laws of physics that apply in these different dimensions, and then you start like, woo, our vision only sees a certain amount of the light spectrum. That in itself should tell you there's multiple, dimensions you can't see, you cannot fathom, you can only see it through different, lighting. God knows, but I think we just think we're so far advanced, and sometimes if we just step back and see, you know, what the end goal is, and that's everybody, you know, getting to that place that you want your kids to get to.
Unavailable for independent research.
Sorry about that.
Shocking, I know.
Committed to rescue. You're going to help rescue next month 2 astronauts that I think were abandoned. They dispute that in an interview.
At the president's request, or instruction, we are accelerating the return of the astronauts, which was postponed kind of to a ridiculous degree.
They got left in space. They've been there. They were supposed to be there 8 days. They're there almost 300. Biden.
They were put.
Yeah.
Yes. They were,
Come on, man. This is politics, y'all. Politics. This is not real. These two are. Hit it, Elon.
They left up there for political reasons, which is not good.
So the fact that they're still up there is wild. And the fact that they're trying to have Elon go and save them is even wilder. They're putting a lot on that man's plate now.
And everything she's done has come to fruition, by the way. No more conspiracy.
Unfortunately for Diddy and a lot of people in Hollywood, there was one extremely brave woman who knew what was going on with Diddy, Jay-Z, and a lot of their pals. And not only did she expose them, she absolutely has been scorching them for years. I do not think that there's anyone that is more feared than Jaguar Wright. So with that, I would want to thank Jaguar for being so courageous in a time where there's very few in media and also in politics and especially in Hollywood, willing to do something and say something when they see pure evil happening. And she's been doing it for a very long time. They called her crazy for years when she was calling out Diddy. Guess what? She was right. So Miss Jaguar, I love you.
I want to say this validates everything that she's ever said. And at the same time, you got to look at the fact that she hasn't really been sued by anybody super famous besides, I think, Jay-Z's camp. But yet and still, where is it at? That's pretty wild. Let me know what you think.
Another deadly plane crash. Tonight, investigators were on the scene of a deadly mid-air collision just outside Tucson, Arizona. The small planes crashing into each other near the runway at Marana Regional Airport. One plane landing safely, the other plane plunging to the ground. 2 people were killed. The airport does not have an air traffic control tower.
We just got to February. Considered the safe happens to.
In this game, you're neither the cat or the mouse. You are the game itself. You act dumb when you talk to them, behaving in a way that's easy to read, making sure they think they know how your mind works. The next time you talk to them, act a little differently, not completely, but just enough. They'll start thinking maybe they didn't read you correctly and will try to figure you out again. The third time you see them, change your behavior slightly again. This will trigger them, making them think you're wearing a mask. Now, the interesting part begins. They will start obsessing over who you really are. The next time you speak, act completely different. Think about what they might believe you are, and then act the exact opposite. This will make them question their intelligence, and you subtly sign
DNA of a rat.
How about just be yourself?
Different DNAs of animals.
Roll the game.
Seen that now they're mixing different DNAs of animals.
Yeah.
So there was this one turtle combined with a rat.
What the fuck?
So they took DNA from a shellless turtle and combined it with DNA of a rat.
A shellless turtle?
Yeah. And they fertilized the eggs, and in 5 months it came out. You want to see it? Like, you can search it up. It's so disgusting, fam.
It's real?
Yes, they actually
Let
did
me
it.
see.
Oh my! Just search up turtle rat.
Turtle rat? What the fuck?
Fam, it's a fat rat with like a turtle-shaped body.
Ew.
Yeah. Fam.
Ew, it looks like an armadillo. This shit?
Yeah, bro.
Ew, what the?
I'll put it on screen. And there's also they combined pig with a human, and that one is gross.
Nah, that's no way that's
that
real.
That one is gross.
No,
Search up pig human.
No way that's real. That shit's fake.
Trust me, fam. I seen the videos.
Ew.
Yeah,
no, it's not.
yeah,
that's not real, fam.
It is. This video.
No, it's not. That's.
Oh wait, no, that's not the right one. That's not the right one. There's another one where there was a bunch of pigs and a small one. They picked it up, showed the face of the camera. It had
this shit. That's not real, fam.
That's not the right one. That's not the right one.
How do they make that shit? Okay, do you think there is like real creatures like that? Cause
yeah, 100%.
Cause the original dog was a wolf, right?
Yeah.
And then over the centuries, how did it end up with a fucking chihuahua?
I don't know.
Exactly. They were doing this stuff long time ago, man. Long time ago. And we're coming back to it. Man, don't learn, man. Really. Man has a difficult time learning. So we gonna repeat. Rinse and repeat. Y'all gonna rinse and repeat.
Maybe just shaved all his hair off.
This is the FBI's secret bypass tool. With just a press and a twist, push-button locks are useless. It's fast, undetectable, and nearly unstoppable. Most people don't even know it exists. But now you do. What would you do if you had a door in the
Buy it. Go buy it,
This
y'all.
is a
That's
new
why
state
they're
of
putting
matter
it
called a
on.
topo conductor. Using topological
Traditional locks. You just aren't safe anymore.
time for us to all realize how big of a technological breakthrough this is. Microsoft just unveiled Majorana 1, the world's first quantum processor using topological qubits. The Majorana 1 uses a new state of matter called a topo conductor to create more stable qubits. These topological qubits are smarter, faster, and more reliable than traditional superconducting qubits.
Hey, this information is the physics and the laws of the other dimension. See, the laws they go through all of the dimensions. They work in all of the dimensions, the laws. It's just what form of the law do you know? Do you see, right? It's like watching the apple fall from the tree. Yeah, you saw the law. Another person saw the law in a different way. The apple hit him on his head and he started looking at it like, what the? Somebody else went even deeper. So the laws are applicable all through every dimension. The laws are universal. God's laws are real. That's why there's no escape. They know there's no escape from God Almighty. It's just they measure him wrong. They use the wrong measurements to, God's like, man, God is free of wants and needs. Period. And nothing can even reach or even fathom or even God. So something that whispers to you, right? You think that thing that whispers to you, that knows how to manipulate the laws and rules, is actually trying to challenge? No. It's a driver for you. So you expand, so you learn.
The chip can fit in the palm of your hand. Microsoft claims this technology could lead to a 1 million qubit processor on a single chip, potentially solving complex problems like breaking down microplastics or inventing things like self-healing materials. This advancement is based on controlling Majorana particles, which were first theorized in 1937, but only recently observed and manipulated in a lab setting. Microsoft CEO stated that this breakthrough will lead to meaningful quantum computers in years instead of decades.
Quick psychology test. How fast is your brain? I want you to name the color of each font, not the word itself. For example, this is blue, not red. I'm going to give you 3 levels of difficulty. Let's see how you do. Level 1. Too easy? Now try level 2. Let's make it a bit harder with level 3. Now, if the levels got harder and you needed to pause, then you just experienced the Stroop effect. The explanation for this is that your brain can label a word faster than it can label a color. But if you could easily do everything, then congratulations. Your brain may be exceptionally good at ignoring distractions and focusing on the task at hand, a skill not everyone has. This ability is often linked to better cognitive control and mental flexibility.
Now think about this, right? They know this. They've known this stuff. Imagine them using this, whoever they are, right? Using this to confuse you. So now when you think God, you think a white man with blonde hair and blue eyes. Huh? What? Yeah.
Traits that are incredibly useful in problem solving, decision making, and even managing stress. So if you breeze through
I'm not too surprised. Let me know how you did on it though.
Good stuff.
What you got?
Good stuff, man. Check out iTrek. Good dude, good videos, solid stuff. Let me go back in here. Check out what X has got going on, right? Hey, I'm going to throw a little bit of background music and we'll scroll through X, see what's going on. Right? And we'll go from there. The heck is going on here?
Capital breeds consumers. The intention of capital is to breed consumers. So how much do you consume?
I'm telling you, everybody's scheming on each other. The Bank of England melted down gold they held for the Australian Central Bank. It's likely Australia gave England gold bars and received lower quality gold bars back. Hey, that's some mob shit. That's some gangster type shit, isn't it? Think about it. Cutting down the Coke. The Coca-Cola. Oh my God, what a world. What a world. A Jewish man was arrested for shooting 2 Israelis in Miami because they look Palestinian. Woo.
Biggie's side-eye on Puff Daddy? Interesting. Was that a power play? Given Biggie's untimely death and the ongoing industry drama, this pick fuels speculation. Did Biggie sense something was off? Welcome to my Awakened family. It's another great day. I hope that you're all doing well. Please drop a positive comment below. Let's try and uplift someone today. Today we're diving into all those hidden truths and theories that they don't want us to explore. So let's buckle up and jump right on in.
Court documents have revealed Liam Payne had fueled with two workers in his room after inhaling a crystal-like substance from some foil. The report claims that 2.5 hours after the women arrived, Payne smashed the TV in the room and sent them away without paying them. However, shortly after they returned to collect their things, Payne apologized on his knees before they left. The investigation into his death is still ongoing.
Is this a smear campaign or just clickbait exploiting Payne's death? Need verifiable evidence, not just salacious gossip.
If I were a woman with PCOS, this is what I would do. Doctors don't tell women this, but the majority of PCOS, polycystic ovarian food,
Here's a miss.
Athando Siddiqui was supposed to be facing criminal proceedings for housebreaking and theft, but he had no plans to hang around at Yeppe Magistrates Court in Johannesburg to hear his fate. Despite his audacious getaway, Siddiqui was rearrested the following day.
When the judge called me, I see there's no one was here. The police for the other side was not there also. I did want to go back trying. Because there is bad, I don't live nice.
This is nuts. Was this a planned escape? Maybe he had inside help? Crazy. If you want to make sure that you stay in the loop and never miss an episode that I release, subscribe and turn on your notifications. And if you are enjoying this episode so far, please take a second to like. It helps a lot. And as always, we're aiming for around 3,000
He's solid. He's always got good info.
Did you know that the word graduate comes from gradually indoctrinate? And when you do graduate, you come out of a mortarboard. And the mortarboard is a symbol for masonry, which incidentally you get a degree from. So you get public, private, pontifical, and religious institutions are all linked back to the Vatican. Personally, I'm about to get into the Bible and go down that route. There's just something about the Vatican I do not trust. Same with the Smithsonian. I think they're in cahoots with each other, but that's just me and my crazy theory. So when you're saving for 15 plus years to send your kids off to these universities, remember where the money's going to. Stay safe, don't wear AirPods.
Interesting theory. There is something off about these kinds of academic institutes when you look how many of them are linked to financial scandals. It does raise eyebrows.
You know, there was there's a channel on YouTube called Archaix, ARCHAIX. This dude has really good information, and he says there was a time on Earth where there was something known as the vapor canopy. That's when the air was like it had more water in it. And things, plants, and humans, and they just grew to a much, much larger size. I don't know, I just thought I'd throw that in, but Archaix is the guy.
Lack of context, dig deeper on this one.
Okay, breaking news. Has just suspended public transport across the country after 3 buses exploded in what police are calling a suspected terror attack. An additional 2 buses...
And that right there looks like a movie. They would blow up a bus right in the middle of nothing? That looks weird.
...were found with explosive devices, both of which had timers, but fortunately they malfunctioned and failed to detonate.
Is that... Hold on, man. Did that look like it was at a bus station? Are these buses?
Had timers, but fortunately they malfunctioned and failed to detonate. According to local media, one of those unexploded devices weighing about 5 kg carried a message saying revenge from Tukulrem, which is apparently referring to a recent military counter-terrorism operation in the West Bank. In response to this, Israel have instructed their military to increase the intensity of that operation. Now, there have been no reports of casualties at this stage, but they have paused all buses, trains, and light rails in the country so that checks for explosive devices can be carried out. As we know more, I'll keep you guys updated.
So was this a coordinated attack or something more sinister? We need to verify the operation details. Is this a false flag maybe? What do you think?
Parallel worlds that coexist with us. How do they coexist with us? Because of the brains, the BRANES, that are created within the 11-dimensional bulk. According to the main theory of the bulk and the creation of the physical universe, other universes can be created at the same time. They may not have the same laws of physics as our own, and that these different universes can exist independently, but they can interact and overlay each other. When this happens, there can be bleed-throughs from one to the other. So if you're interacting with a brain or a universe that's not quite the same as us, or has different laws of physics, it has different intelligences, they can start bleeding through.
Hey, have you ever looked, like, if you're doing like if you're using image software, right? You know how you have the gradient, how like a color selector, how some programs give you just a huge board, and it's just you as you slide your mouse your pointer over the different colors, it's all the colors are all available to you. That is the laws of the universe. That is literally how it's set up. The colors are all there, the laws are all there. It's just what you're perceiving, what you're what is available there. I don't know if that makes sense or not, but
into our own.
So, if parallel universes exist, could an explained phenomena like UAPs, UFOs, whatever you want to call them, be evidence of bleed-through? So Colin's expertise in ancient mysteries adds intrigue, but needs rigorous scrutiny. So is there a cover-up on this particular topic? A huge thank you to my amazing channel members. You really do keep this community alive and thriving. Not just for myself, but for everyone who watches. And if you're interested in joining and unlocking some exclusive perks, click the link in the description below.
New fear unlocked. This woman felt something crawling around in it. Bro is
either
same time. In the world of UFOs, you've got to keep that top of mind because it's a constant. Well, there are tic-tac crafts coming out of the ocean. Absolutely. But there's not a mothership lurking out over the Gulf of America or the Gulf of Mexico or whatever it's called today. It's just not true. If it was true, why wouldn't the videos look the same? There's 1,000 different variations on this huge social media phenomenon. Half of them look different from each other. And also, it's not in the public consciousness at all. It's only on TikTok. If you poke around, most of the beach cams that people are monitoring to look for the across the
information. The Pensacola Hill.
Now, what you have to do is convert your name into binary. Android, put in the work to attract more
freedom in a changing digital.
Most people don't even understand it. When you think only
a for financial freedom in a changing digital landscape.
You can only attract according to the frequency that you're operating on. Most people don't even understand it. When you think, you put you onto a frequency. You think about a person a lot. Just concentrate on it. That person will phone you. Or you'll bump into them on the street. You could attract to you what you're in harmony with. But when you set goals, you got to see yourself already there. That's called a mindset. They set their mind on the frequency that they have to be in to attract what they have to attract. And that's how the goal moves into form. The only problem is you don't have it on a physical plane yet, but it will manifest in time. Thought is the preamble to everything. Thought waves are cosmic waves. They penetrate all time and space.
I think that's what most people are looking for. I think
hold on,
they're looking for an answer outside of themselves, and they're never going to find it. I think by this time I realized it was something in me.
Intriguing, but vague. Manifestation's a real thing, but cosmic waves? Define cosmic wave. I gotta.
You gotta think. Any wave, any thought. Okay, because it is a thought, it is not. It's not perceived. So it's a wave. That wave becomes cosmic. Everything cosmic is waves. All right. So that's, I think, what that guy is trying to explain, is that your thoughts are literally, you're releasing them. They're just waves and waves and they continue eternally. That's the beauty of it. It's the moment they're observed, then they're no longer waves. Then they're actual particles.
Ask, is this a subtle sales pitch?
And the moment you observe one particular particle or one stream of that wave, because think, when you're thinking, your thought is multiple layers and it's constantly flowing. The moment like one particular thought is observed, all of the other ones collapse, because now it's no longer a thought you've picked.
Disguised as self-help. I'll be honest, it needs more transparency, to be honest.
What if the real purpose was to bury a lost civilization, to erase...
This person's referring to the Great Flood, saying, what if it was deliberately done to wipe out a civilization? We've actually got enough tablets to tell us exactly why it was done. The tablets tell us that the Anunnaki's planet came between Jupiter and Mars, which caused the gravitational problems on Earth, such as Antarctica having a huge chunk of ice the size of America slide off into the ocean and cause a tsunami, which is what we know as the Great Flood. This is actually backed up by Oxford University, where they also agree that the Great Flood was caused by a tsunami from an ice shelf from Antarctica. If you want to see all the evidence of this, an hour's worth of evidence that the Great Flood happened and why it happened, etc., and it wasn't to do with hiding a civilization, feel free to go to ourtruehistory.co.uk and you'll get all the answers there.
The Anunnaki causing the flood, that's an interesting claim. Oxford backing this as well? Seriously? I need to dig deeper into this. It seems kind of...
Hey, I just want you to understand something real quick. The word Anunnaki, it has a whole different meaning than what people are like trying to say. You have to, there is a channel on YouTube, Lady Babylon, and that is, it is a, it's run by Dr. Amin Hillman. He's a Greek philologist, so like the classical Greek is what he does. There's only a few people on the planet that can deal with reading old ancient Greek text. He is one of them. He actually breaks down what Anunnaki and all that stuff is. And so does Jason Brashears. Jason Brashears on Archaics does a really good job explaining what the Anunnaki were.
Fishy. Is this ancient astronaut stuff or something else entirely? What do you think?
Check this out. This is the boat of the future. It's innovation by Saul.
This kind of glamorization of electric motor tech just...
Castro is the father of Justin Trudeau. Now
I want y'all to look at these dinners, man. Take a look at, who is this dude right here, man? Take a real good look at these people. Look at the looks on their faces, okay? This is the early 1900s, keep in mind. And there's a Jekyll Island. Oh, these are amazing. Duck hunt, and in a secret...
Like those duck...
USPS Board of Governors reduce its independence and take the USPS, the Postal Service, and put it under the Commerce Department, giving Donald Trump and the executive full control of this once independent agency. According to the Washington Post, the Trump administration is preparing an executive order to sign as soon as next week that would fire the entire Board of Governors at the USPS. It would move the Postal Service from an independent sector in the government under the Department of Commerce, thereby giving the executive full authority over the Postal Service. Now, the next steps following this likely executive order are unclear. Earlier this year, or rather last year, Donald mulled the possibility of potentially privatizing the USPS, the Postal Service. If one were to try to privatize the Postal Service, this is kind of the way they would start doing it, by moving it under the Department of Commerce, by removing its independence, by firing the Board of Governors. I'll do a full breakdown on what this means on my Substack shortly, so be sure to subscribe for free at the link in my bio. As always, follow along to stay up to date on all the news you need to know about.
That Washington Post article is key, but why the Department of Commerce? Was this about election interference or something bigger? The timing is suspect, to say the least.
If you see this in the woods, don't go near it. Here's what known as high remain hidden on exporting our wood.
Manipulated. Oarfish sightings often precede seismic activity, according to some folklore. Is this a coincidence, or is there a yet undiscovered link between deep-sea creatures and tectonic shifts? Are governments concealing information about a potential catastrophic event? A playful nod to something dark.
Apologise, it's 7 PM. There's going to be some shocking revelations. I hope it...
7 breaking evidence or a
particle of light looks like this.
Clicks, let's watch and see, I guess.
1 particle of light looks like this. Brand new image. That is a nebula. Is that not crazy that the geometry is like almost dead on? There's actually a ton of these patterns that are repeated through nature, like the Fibonacci spiral. That's called scale invariance.
That is the creator's work. I'm telling, they know they can't, like, you have to God is so far above anything that we even like perceive. So just know that if that entity to you is a man that's stabbed and hungers and has to use the bathroom, and then you're going to deal with that being your reality, right? But when it's God, look around. That's the whole bit. The whole story is that. They don't want you to know that is your creator. That's perfect all the way through, and everything is all good all the time. Yep. They don't want you to know that. They want you to think it's some, fat chubby statue, or some statue with 10 arms and 10 legs, or whatever image they give you. They want you to think that's what it is. That's your save. What? That? The one that was full of wants, full of needs, in constant prayer to his creator. What? Come on. The moment you get disconnected from that reality that you're seeing right here, it's a wrap.
Same pattern at any scale, big or small, right? So I asked ChatGPT, where do humans fit in this massive scale? You ready for this? Humans exist almost exactly in the midpoint, dead in the center.
Where? What? In the middle. Marbine. Let me show you something. All right. Try to find something real quick. We throw some music on for you guys, so you're not bored.
Of the biggest things and the smallest things. So between the particle eye and the space eye is your eye. Not even the weirdest part. This is an old alchemy book. It's literally talking about cosmic and light in that drawing right there. Then you trace that one back and you realize they've been talking about that same exact thing for all of time, all of recorded history. Yeah, I see what's going on here. Simulation's getting real lazy.
If ancient cultures knew this and ChatGPT confirms our place in the cosmic midpoint, is there a deliberate omission of this knowledge? Are we being shown only part of the bigger picture?
What the fuck? These are the worst celebrities.
Yes. 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 They knew. This is one of the realities. They knew. They knew how to transcend, ascend, see, communicate, all of it. They knew, and they know now. So it's everything is, oh, let's get it set up that way again. The most important thing is that the transmission is open now, because that network that was available to the ancients, the network of information, the network of download of that is available again. It's nothing of their doing, but it's artificially set up for man right now. But it is a neutral field. The information that's coming down is real information. It's real information, and you can use it for good. The moment it's ill, it will be dealt with. That's what the whole setup is right now. So that's why even the politicians are trying to do what seems good. You know what I mean? But they are working with different energies and things. They're manipulating energies.
Who changed their looks after becoming too famous. Doja Cat before.
I'll show you.
And now.
Wow. Wow.
Her outfit makes no sense. Sam Smith before.
I don't wanna be alone tonight.
And now. Here's the proof that the devil is a real belief in music. Amanda Bynes before. And now? How did she manage to ruin her career and end up like this? Seriously? Melanie Martinez before. And now? Jocelyn Wildenstein before. And now? This is the worst transformation I've ever seen. She had her life together. How did she end up like this?
These glowdowns are intense. No proof of surgery is given just before and afters. Is this a subtle campaign to shame celebs for changing their looks? Or perhaps something more sinister is going on with them? Let me know your thoughts.
To me, it's another obvious example of an old world energy centre. Just look at all the horseshoe shapes everywhere. Look at the cymatics on the windows, the designs, the evidence of lower level. I mean, you've got to be taking the piss, mate. The Grand Hotel in Leicester, another example. I mean, they're everywhere here, but look at this whole street. Look at this old world architecture. Same building for scale. If you have a look at these doors, almost looks like these people would have been the perfect size, eh? It's frequency. For example, if you play sound through water or if you put sand on top of a speaker, you can often make different shapes. These guys are on some madness back whenever this was built. Do you know what I mean? Like, what is that even meant to be? Got all these materials 250 meters above sea level before electric motors even existed. So horse and cart. And then they did all this with hand and chisel. You've got to be taking the piss, mate.
So were these builders really that advanced, or is something else at play? Maybe we need to investigate alternative explanations beyond lost civilization. What do you think?
I did see this one crazy thing, speaking of UFOs and plasma bubbles and mysterious noises. This one guy was on this documentary in 1999. Yeah, great year. He said that he had a contact at Area 51, and he's like, can you tell me the things that are there? Things in the, that was in 1999. He's like, as a nation.
What happened? What really look? They got
The whole
time really good.
Type of misdirection, UAP.
With Elon Musk's personal security team essentially granting them specific rights and protections that are typically only afforded for federal law enforcement agencies. Now, according to CNN reporting, it's not exactly clear how many members of Elon Musk's personal security team have been deputized, but this is truly historic nonetheless. It's really...
And that's normal? That's normal? You got somebody from South Africa in the White House, unelected. Just seems like the beginnings of a bad movie, y'all.
Really one of the first times that a private...
Hey, but that $5,000 Doge money, let's go.
Private security for a special government official or a special government employee. Elon Musk did not...
Interesting stuff. Share your thoughts.
Apparently snow from the 1st of March, literally non-stop, till the...
Is suggestive, hinting at a deliberate possible...
Mysterious LA help signs. And that is beneath the car. Let me know what you think.
Human...
You're not saying the shape affects us, right?
That's exactly what I'm saying. Have you ever wondered why everything around you is... Their roofs pointed to the sky, allowing a project into a prison? You'd see it, feel it. Look at the world of boxes. Do you think that's by accident?
It does seem sketchy.
See? The ancients built for the mind. They keep them small.
Unseen force.
This is the chainsaw for bureaucracy.
This is normal. This is cool. Why is he wearing those glasses? The fuck is going on, y'all? Really?
Hey,
Remember this dude? This dude? On my outro, you'll find that dude.
Elon Musk was gifted a chainsaw for bureaucracy by the president of Argentina, Javier Milei, during the Conservative Political Action Conference in National Harbor yesterday.
What is he wearing around his neck, y'all?
Well, President Milei has a gift for me. Javier Milei.
During the chainsaw for bureaucracy by the president of Argentina.
What is that? Why is he in all black? Yo, wake up!
Javier Milei during the Conservative Political Action Conference in National Harbor yesterday.
Well, President Milei has a gift for me.
Javier Milei from Argentina. You guys know what that is, right?
This is something, man. This is like a ritual or something.
Well, President Milei has a
It
gift
just
for me.
don't feel right.
Javier Milei
You know
from
what I mean?
Argentina. You guys know what that is, right?
What the? Well, what kind of a hairdo is that? What? Look at this dude's hair. Look at Malay's hair. Look at what he does here.
This is the chainsaw for bureaucracy. Chainsaw.
It comes as Musk slammed Ukraine's president.
PR stunt or airfight?
What we see now, they have had for a very, very long time. And you know how they say that 50% of people living on this earth don't have an internal monologue, like they're NPCs? Do y'all really think that they aren't using these things today? I don't think people understand that we're living in a world where half the things that we see aren't real, at least the way that we think they're real. And speaking of this artificial intelligence, where did they get this intelligence from? This behind me is not the moon, it's the sun. You remember in April when we had that crazy eclipse? That was weird for so many reasons, like, you know, the positioning of the sun and the moon. Well, right around that time frame is when we had this drastic change in artificial intelligence and AGI. And we know we had AI before that, but when it happened, it was a dramatic shift. Well, did you know that there's a lot of people that say that when that whole thing happened, there's a massive deal that transpired. And when that happened, we were given technology that we cannot control. So I guess my main question is, what exactly will this be used for?
I'm
And if
taking on
already,
China
which I
on
believe it
trade.
is, what
And
is
you
it
know
being
what?
used for
We're
right now?
winning.
The April 2023 eclipse did coincide with AI breakthroughs, but causation? Highly dubious. So is this a red herring masking a deeper, more sinister agenda? We need to dig into those AI advancements.
Another thing I saw this week, which I think is going to help the Gooners and the Department of Government Efficiencies to take a look into this. This is going to shut down. This is there.
Say hi. Yeah. Do a little walk around.
You guys can already.
Next.
That's legit. Yeah. And you can guys do this now. They have these programs within an where with the same interacting van. Think about what happened. So you. Yeah, that's nice.
Women's movements were of a new.
It's frozen over. Look at this, y'all. It's slushy and captured. The frozen clouds we've been seeing as of
3 empty buses with devices.
Is this climate change or something else influencing the unusual freezing patterns across the Great Lakes?
Right, so you expect me to believe that somehow an in quotations terror group made its way into Israel and set off explosions in 3 empty buses, with devices on 2 other buses failing to explode, one coincidentally having a message? If you can't see what this is right now, then you're choosing to be a sheep that's been herded so far into this comfortable little corner inside of this infrastructural society that does nothing for us to begin with. Yeah, if you didn't know, there's been a suspected terror attack in Israel, right? Let's do keep in mind, ironically, there were no casualties. And once again, there were devices on 2 other buses that fell to explode with a message that was on one of the devices. And here's what that message said. It referred to, in quotations, revenge for a recent raid on a refugee camp in the occupied West Bank, by the way, but that's not the point here. The point is that now, right in the midst of a ceasefire, Benjamin Netanyahu has ordered the military, which if you don't know the history behind the military, please let me do a full rundown for you because I guarantee I will open your motherfucking eyes up. But he's ordered the military to carry out an intensive operation, and can you guess where? Against centers of terrorism, in quotations, in the West Bank in response. But that's not it. Following the explosion, the Tokron Brigade released a statement that said revenge for the martyrs will not be forgotten as long as the occupier sits on our land. Now let's keep in mind, okay, that statement in itself did not claim responsibility for the attack. And if you don't see what it's actually referring to, then you're choosing to be fucking delusional. You're choosing to be fucking deceived. Those people are fucking smart, okay? They know exactly what's happening right now.
0 casualties, unexploded devices. Was this a false flag to justify the West Bank raid? Netanyahu's intensive operation smells like escalation, not response. Do we dare dig deeper on this one?
A major new study shows Atlantic hurricanes are set to double in number by 2030. Both the Atlantic and facing storms maintaining higher intensities for longer periods, creating extended threat periods and shorter recovery times between events. The Met Office data indicates dramatic changes in both ocean temperature and wind patterns, creating ideal conditions for hurricane formation. Coastal regions face new challenges as storm seasons intensify beyond historical records. Emergency response systems designed for current storm frequencies tests port operations, shipping routes, and
years and had 7 children with her. So if y'all are not
Sean Penn. And harassment allegations to call be spending. Cash went to staff. Perks. What the? Penn has been a vocal. I think.
Troy 2-1 Roger, thanks for the report. Can you advise?
Highlight the need for thorough investigation into understanding the case.
People have been messaging me all day, taking.
This can create small shifts in the Earth's crust and potentially trigger an earthquake. After oil and gas operations, the water used in the process, which is a lot, has to be disposed of. By injecting it deep into underground wells, it can increase pressure on fault lines and potentially cause an earthquake. In Alberta, there are documented cases of this. There's also a lot of coal mining in this area, and let's not forget the new kid on the block.
But it's a big one.
Demon
really deep. To even forfeiting your human soul to the demon of your choice for. And watch how a nail's gonna come out of his nose. He does this on the street in front of people. And I'm about to show you more in a second. So people think that this is like special effects and theatrics. What if I told you that contracts with demons go back to the very beginning? Don't believe me? Well, what is this? It was commonly known in the medieval ages that these people would enter into a contract with demons. The demons who then agree to be their slave as long as they live. But the catch is, when they inevitably die, and they will, the magician himself becomes slave to the very demon he made a contract with, making the demon their master. Eternally, forever. There are even many books on the subject, and this magic spelled with a K goes really deep. To even forfeiting your human soul to the demon of your choice for some kind of power. But you can't lose your soul. If you go to the serving demons, theoretically it's already gone. Not to mention the immense blasphemy you have to enter into. You didn't know there are people on this earth with actual powers. They don't really belong to them though, they belong to the demons. It's funny to me Christians don't believe that, considering that King Solomon built the second temple by the power of demons. Let me show you some more witchcraft that's right in the open.
Shake it, okay? Shake, much more. Shake it, stop. Open the can. What? Well, that's nothing. Low, right? Because now CO2 is in my hand. Watch. 1, 2, 3, go.
Stop being ignorant, they show you what they do. The word right behind me is a word for intimacy. Intimacy magicians. Y'all don't remember that Red Hot Chili Pepper album? The way that our society moves is in tune with magic, even if you don't know they're doing it.
Magic is what they sing. Listen. See if I can find something real quick.
They even do it to birth certain people. We'll get into that tomorrow. And if you're on TikTok, just bookmark it. The algorithm will bring you back. But it's a big one.
Listen, magic, right, comes from the Magi, which were the Persian priestly class, also known as wise men, right? They were the ones in the Bible that came to Jesus' household and let them know about Jesus. Just knowing, man. Knowing. If you know something that these fools or this fool doesn't know, you're going to be a magician. Because it doesn't fit in his box. You could literally bring him future technology and use it, and he'll call you a magician, a sorcerer, a witch. Put that motherfucker in the fire and burn him. That's the mindset. Once you're trapped in a cross or a cube, you can't get out, you know? So...
Demon contracts in magic. That Faustus reference is legit, but swallowing nails? Is Moon Henry pushing a specific occult agenda or just bad magic tricks? Do we do any more digging on this?
So this dude, Bill Cooper, is probably one of the most famous conspiracy theorists. He predicted 9/11 months before it happened. He exposed so many government operations, spying on their own people, using technology to control, manipulate, and spy on us. But let's talk about what he said about aliens, because it's pretty crazy. So Bill's background was in naval intelligence.
Ding, 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 ding. Naval intelligence. That right there should tell you everything. All right? Naval intelligence. Intelligence is for a reason. They're there for something. So anything Bill Cooper said, that's naval intelligence.
He claimed to have seen top secret documents about government alien interactions. He initially believed that aliens were real and made contact with world governments. So he claimed that the government made a deal with extraterrestrials in 1954. And it was a treaty that essentially was like, hey, listen, aliens, you give us your alien technology, teach us how to build this incredible shit, and you can abduct our people whenever you want and experiment on them. Yes, that is the official language in those documents. He also talked about on us to see what they actually discovered, at least as we've been told, and that
So think he said one thing and then completely flipped later. Naval intelligence.
our people right. And he completely switched his stance, saying that, like, no, it's actually the government that is abducting people, acting as aliens
Naval
to kind of create these narratives. He also
told
said that
you.
most UFOs are
You're
black
never gonna
budget
know.
military projects and just advanced technology that the public's not supposed to know about or see. So where do you...
Consistencies in his narratives.
Night on the Night Shift podcast with... I think it's speculation. This is now that UFO followers, myself as well.
Anyways, y'all, I'm gonna cut it short or cut it long. I'm gonna try to do more of these, just to put my thought out there. That's it. My opinions, my own, no one else's. I'm gonna share. But definitely Nexer and iTrek. That's the two I did today. Good solid channels. Go follow them, like them, whatever. Appreciate y'all. Stay positive. Remember, it's just one God. All right? Peace.